On behalf of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and our beloved illustrious acharyas of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for participating in this auspicious ceremony today. Today, Mokshada Ekadasi is the anniversary of that most holy of days when Lord Sri Krishna personally spoke the message of Bhagavad Gita to all of humanity for all time through his beloved devotee Arjuna. We are living in times that are uncertain, where sufferings, miseries, fear is prevailing in so many places throughout this earth. The Bhagavad Gita was especially spoken in a time of crisis to teach us how we can experience and attain the highest perfection in times of the greatest crisis. Before the army or before the battle begins, Krishna is the loving servant of his own devotee, brings the chariot of Arjuna between the armies. And he says just some simple words that invoked such a stirring in the heart of Arjuna. These are the people who have assembled. And he saw loved ones, people he respected on both sides. He began explaining the principles of Dharma as he understood it, to prove that he should not fight this battle. But then understanding his duty to protect the innocent, to uphold Dharma, he was literally engulfed, overwhelmed by uncertainty and confusion. And in that state, he ultimately turned to Krishna. He said, I have lost my composure. I'm truly confused. I don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Please instruct me. Arjuna was really miserable. He was suffering betrayal from people he loved, confusion, how to react to that. He had a sense of duty that I must perform my service, my dharma to humanity by protecting the principles of religion, but the conflicting emotion of compassion. He didn't want to see people hurt. He couldn't bear this thought of all the wives that would be widows and all the children that would be fatherless. It was in that state that he heard the Bhagavad Gita. All the trials and challenges that we may be enduring today and all that we will inevitably endure in the future are being addressed in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna begins by explaining the nature of the true self, the jiva. Nahanyate hanyamane sarire, najayate mriyate vakatachyat. That the eternal soul is never born and never dies. It is not subjected to the forces of nature or time. But the forces of nature and time are so powerful. This Maya, which is based on the interaction of the three modes of nature with time, and the karma, the various actions that are celebrated by that combination, it's very difficult. It's very impossible to overcome. To control the mind, to control the senses, to overcome fear, lust, envy, anger, greed, illusion. These forces from all around us and within us are very difficult to overcome. This is very much the essence of the Gita. Krishna explains how material nature works. He explains how we become bound up by karma, how we're always being consumed at every moment, we're being destroyed by time. But we can easily overcome it if we simply do one thing: take shelter of Him. That is the essence of the Gita, to take shelter of the Lord. Krishna tells only through bhakti, only through devotion and seva can I be understood as I am. Sarva dharman parityasya mamekam sharanam praja aham tvam sarva papibhyo mokshaye samjimasaja. Abandon all varieties of dharma and surrender to me. And he explains the process of surrender. Man manava vamad bhakto madhyashim nam namaskuro mami vaishashi satyam te pratijani priyoshi. Always remember me. Become my devotee. Worship me, offer your homage to me, and this way you will come to me without fail. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvata. Krishna's identifying the truth of who he is to everyone. I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my loving service and worship me with all their hearts. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained the problems of this world, who we are, and how to overcome these problems and attain eternal spiritual perfection through always remembering Krishna, through surrendering to Krishna. 500 years ago, as predicted in the Vedic literatures, that same Sri Krishna appeared as the Yuga avatar. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes only once in a day of Brahma. Srila Prabhupada explained that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the role of a devotee to practically show us how to attain that perfection of always remembering Krishna, as he explained it in Bhagavad Gita. Just like in a school, sometimes a teacher will be teaching the students in KG how to write the alphabet. And they will say, this is how you put the A. They don't have to go, the teacher already knows, doesn't need to go through the lesson, but goes through the lesson just to teach the students how to do it. Krishna tells, I know everything in the past, everything that's to come. I know everything. I know every living being, every thought, every word, every action that everyone has ever done and ever will do. But yet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself in the role of his own devotee to teach us how to love God. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantaschat detavita. Krishna tells in Gita we should always chant his names and glories. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the essence of the Vedas of how to attain perfection in this age of Kali. Harinama, Harinama, Harinameva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. And it's a joyful process. Parama Karuna Pahunduijana Nitai Gorajamna. Tava Avatar Sarasya Romani Kevala Ananda Kanda. It's a joyful process. Chanting the holy names of the Lord, dancing, taking prasad, rendering loving service in the association of devotees, hearing the glories of Krishna. But even such a joyful process is sometimes very difficult for us in this Kali Yuga. But if we're sincere to just remember Krishna, to live with the values and the character that Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, to strive to follow in the footsteps of the great souls who imbibe those qualities and values that the Gita teaches. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, Gopi Bharatur Padakamala Yoradas Das Anudas. Just by trying to be sincerely and honestly the servant of the servant of the servant, to develop a taste for hearing about the Lord and chanting his holy names. By Krishna's grace, just seeing our attempt to take shelter in that way, Krishna will reveal himself within our hearts and awaken our eternal nature, our prema bhakti. Srila Prabhupada took this message throughout the world, and especially he gave so many of his years of his life to give translation and the purports according to the great acharyas for many centuries in his Bhagavad Gita as it is. People in the West, people in the East, people in the North, and people in the South. It was translated into so many hundreds of languages. It's the largest selling Bhagavad Gita in the history of the world. And we are all given the opportunity to participate in sharing this beautiful knowledge of the Gita, to facilitating the distribution of this beautiful book, to distributing it ourselves, and by studying it in the association of practitioners, and by living a life exemplary of the teachings of the Gitas. On this day of Mokshada Ekadasi, to offer our prayers, to offer our services, to chant the holy names of the Lord with sincerity, great showers of blessings and mercy come upon us, and we can invoke those blessings upon the whole world. Thank you very much.